You, your experience matters. Your story is your story, and I encourage you to tell it, and also not just hear the story that we tell ourselves, but to figure out what is true. This afternoon, somebody told me that it would be better off if I were to swallow a bullet, essentially. And that hurt me a lot. Years ago, I was pretty close to that, and I did my best to confide in this person, but they were not in a place of love. They're living in a place of hatred, and I hope this person can find peace within themselves. I'm not going to tell you who it was. Somebody who I used to be close to. It doesn't matter. The person is hurting. And all it did was, it hurt. Obviously it hurt. But it sealed the deal for me that I'm making the right decisions to move past and to set down these expectations and these hopes for people who want nothing to do with me. I have beautiful, amazing friends, and I called, and they were exquisitely kind and loving and helpful to me. Don't let people speak into your lives who hate themselves enough to say disgusting things like that. Let them go. Leave them. You don't need to be there. And there's nothing that they have that is worth you staying there. Nothing. If it isn't right, don't put yourself there. Thank you for saying that to me. This person who said it to me. I called them a coward, which I think is true. I'm also grateful that they said what they truly feel. Because that, instead of dancing around something, because that's what you've done all your life, nah, thank you. Cool. I can walk away from you very easily now. So I'm reminding you, if somebody has told you that you don't matter, you matter. You matter. You matter. There was a time in my life, around 2013, where I thought more about how to clean up the remains of my body so that I wouldn't burden somebody than about getting myself out of a situation. And then I realized, why am I allowing this to happen to me? Why am I allowing these people to have this power of me? Why am I allowing this neglect and abuse to persist? And I let it happen a little bit longer after that. And then finally, I got to a point where I'm not going to pretend who I am anymore. I'm not going to dim myself for the sake of somebody's hurt feelings or insecurities. I grew up studying the Bible, and there are a couple of scriptures that I always remember. 1 John 3:17 and 18, it says, when you see your brother in need and you turn your back on him, how does the love of God remain in you? And then we should worship not with the word or the tongue, but in deed and truth. That basically means that if we turn our back on somebody who needs something or is begging for help, we don't have love. Another scripture I love is, there's no fear in love, but perfect love casts fear out. Which means that if we find ourselves afraid, It's just telling us that there's opportunity here to show love to ourselves, love to somebody else. And I would question that. And people have had a hard time answering that question because they're living so scarce and afraid. So the person who said for me to go swallow a bullet is living so small. And I hope that this person finds peace, and I want only good things for them. And also, thank you for saying it out loud. Finally, I received the message loud and clear. Also, I'm moving on. I'm making a show that has to do with connection and wholesome and beautiful connection, and telling stories and overcoming obstacles. And the person who said that to me is hurting. Nobody who's loving themselves or is loving in a loving place could ever say that to another human being, and especially somebody who has shown up for them. But even for somebody, like, you can't, even for the worst person, there's always redemption, there's always hope, there's always an option to do something different. So to say, to swallow a bullet? No. I'm not going to stay broken like I was when you knew me. Or even imagine that you did know me. No, sir. So if anybody's saying that to you, don't believe them. Love yourself, because that person doesn't love themselves. It's hurtful, and they're intending to hurt you. And here's what I've learned. The way a person treats you has nothing to do with you. It has to do with their insecurities and the way that they feel about themselves. This person said that I was a violent psychopath. That I attacked them, and they couldn't recall the date, but from what I understand, it was from when I was 20 years old. I'm not going to say that I haven't been abusive in my past, and I know that I've been abusive, and I know that I'm sitting down and I'm working on myself and dealing with that, but I also know that that's not true. I'm not a violent psychopath. And also, I don't think this person is a violent psychopath either. I think that they just need consideration and love, and I hope they get that someplace. And here's the thing. Don't ever, ever, ever suggest that somebody, like, you don't know what people are dealing with. If somebody says that to you, just feel sorry for them. Because that's what it is. They're hurting. So what do you say we make this place better? I forgive this person. I hope he has peace. That's all I have to say. There's no fear in love, but perfect love casts fear out. This person they deserve love too. They deserve forgiveness, they deserve peace. And even if it's somebody who's not nice to you, do your best to hope good things for them.